Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, whatever time of day you end up watching this video. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about the elephant in the room, the ugly truth about earnest money deposits and how they can really become almost useless if you don't have a good system in place. And just to be fully transparent, on most real estate transactions that agents enter into with buyers and sellers, this isn't really an issue. When you're talking about conventional, customary purchase and sale agreements, typically your buyer has every intention of closing. You're entering into a standard agreement. You have your due diligence inspection period, which is 15 to 30 days on a regular real estate contract. And then you also have a finance contingency period. And your earnest money deposit is, of course, protected during all of that. This is more for wholesalers, agents who work with investors, and anybody else selling property, especially properties that are being sold in distressed condition, whether it be somebody buying to add to their rental portfolio or buying a flip. This is where you seem to run into this a lot more. And I know back in 2017 and 2018, when I was doing wholesale real estate, we ran into this issue a good bit. And I coordinated with my attorney at the time, and we did find a solution to the problem, because here in the nutshell is where it can become an issue. We all know about daisy chains, and we all know that there are a lot of shifty buyers out there, just like there are a lot of good qualified buyers. And a lot of times they will lock these properties up, put them under contract, and they're trying to sell their contract rights. They're trying to assign the contract to somebody, which is all fine. But in the meantime, they're tying that property up. And they put a non-refundable earnest money deposit down with 0 days inspection, 5-day inspection, 10-day inspection, whatever it may be. One of the latest games that I'm seeing is they don't want to put an earnest money deposit down until the end of their due diligence period. I don't think that's necessarily always a problem, as long as the due diligence period isn't longer than 5 or 10 days. If it's any longer than that, you want that put down immediately, because otherwise they have no skin in the game. They can walk away unscathed, and you have put yourself in a position where you've taken that property off market. You've taken it away from potential other buyers being able to make offers on it, because you believe that you have a bona fide buyer who's going to close, and you have an earnest money deposit sitting there. And here's the thing, I don't care if your EMD is 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000. If you don't have a clause attached to your contract, that money can essentially never be released. So what ends up happening is the buyer fails to perform. And of course, we're talking about only when it's the buyer's fault, not because of something with the property that made the title not marketable. Keep in mind that Florida real estate law automatically protects buyers from that, in the sense that if the seller cannot provide clear and marketable title, the buyer is not obligated to perform on the contract, and they are entitled to their earnest money deposit back. So that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the buyer that just can't close, or tells you at the last minute that they can't close, or, oh, I need another extension. Maybe you've already given them a 2-week extension, and now they're coming back wanting another extension, and it's starting to smell a little off to you. So I've dealt with this a couple of different ways, but I'm going to give you the first way to protect yourself, and if you're representing a buyer, to protect a seller, to protect that seller and their investment of having their property tied up. You can add a clause at the bottom of your assignment agreement if you're doing a wholesaling, or even in the special terms section of a Florida purchase and sale agreement. And you need some verbiage in there So this is the verbiage that I have used that was actually given to me by Dwayne Romanello years ago. And it says buyer, or you could put assigner if you're wholesaling it, acknowledges assignee. I'm sorry, let me start over. Buyer or assignee. So you would use one term or the other. If this is an assignment contract, then you would use the term assignee, meaning the person that's the end buyer. And if it's not, you would use the term buyer. Buyer acknowledges that if he or she fails to perform according to the terms of this agreement, the agreement will be terminated, and buyer's signature on this document serves as their immediate termination of contract and release of earnest money deposit to the seller or assigner without any further arbitration or documentation or signature of release required. So you are building in that signed termination and release into the actual contractual agreement to begin with, so that you can then use that to have your title agent or attorney release that EMD to you as the wholesaler, assigner, or to your seller if you're representing a seller. Now, I have also dealt with some daisy chaining experiences in the last couple of years where it became very evident that the buyer either was trying to assign the contract even though it was not assignable. That's okay. They can still double close. They can do their thing, which honestly I don't care as long as they close, right? But it started to become evident that this person was that this contract was probably not going to close. And this was after maybe a second extension had been granted or requested. So in that case, when the addendum was written to extend the contract, within that addendum, we required the $5,000 earnest money deposit to be immediately released to the seller. Not just made non-refundable, but literally released by title that day. And the commission or assignment fee to be immediately released. And in exchange, we gave that second or third extension of the contract. Now this person has real skin in the game. They have sent money to title, and title has wired that money out to you or your seller the same day that the addendum is executed. And in your verbiage, if they don't, then there's no extension to the contract. This will help you separate the real buyers and the people who truly intend to close from those who are just dragging you around while they try to shop the contract out. And if they're serious, they will have no problem wiring the additional money for the assignment fee or commission, and they will have no problem releasing the earnest money deposit immediately because that money is going to come out anyway at closing. So instead, they release it in advance, and that's how you know that this is somebody that knows they're going to be able to close, but maybe they truly are trying to determine which lender they want to use, who's going to give them the best terms, and they just need a little more time to hash that out. They've probably already secured funding, but maybe they want to see if they can secure some better funding. And I've done it with Title America. John has very agreeably participated in that and had no issue with it, as long as the parties all understand the terms. So at the end of the day, this is a way to make that earnest money deposit actually go hard for real and actually be released when that buyer fails to perform. And if you have a buyer that you're dealing with on a regular residential contract, go to your broker and ask them if they have any problem with you adding this paragraph under the special terms at the end of the contract, because maybe you suspect that this buyer is kind of iffy, they're dragging their feet, maybe they've been dishonest with you or with the lender, and you're not feeling too confident that they're going to be able to actually close, and your seller has taken their home off the market. they deserve to be compensated for that. And normally the earnest money deposit on a regular real estate contract isn't that much. It's 1,000, 3,000, maybe five. But at the end of the day, the only other way to get it released would be to sue them for non-performance, which is going to involve an attorney and court costs and additional fees that if the person won't even release a binder, you're probably not going to be able to collect on court costs and fees either. So this gives you a very legal loophole and a great way that you can make your earnest money deposit actual releasable funds so that they don't sit in a title company or attorney's account for decades because parties refuse to release them. If you would like a copy of this paragraph that I included and that we discussed, please shoot me an email or make a comment on this video and I'm happy to send it over to you. If you have any other questions about this topic, or if you have another topic that you would like to see either me go into or have me interview another expert in that particular area, please shoot me a message. I am always open to whatever is going to add value to you guys' lives and help you build your business. Have a great Friday and an awesome weekend. And thanks for tuning in.